All right, community. So often January starts with a bit of a yawn and a stretch, but not this one. We've got a ton going on. However, a lot of it's not in the talk about stage yet. One thing I can and will talk about is that we're growing. Kings Isle is totally growing. We're growing a lot, in fact. All right, awesome. So hiring people, we have tons of positions open. We're going to have some more open coming later this year. It's integral to our 2022 goals. Which is maintaining the awesomeness of Wizard 101, ramping up pirate development, and a few other things that we're not ready to talk about yet. Let me give a Wizard update. The team is in planning mode for 2022 and in full development for our next update that is coming soon, TM. And we've got some really exciting things in progress. However, it's all really early to talk about. So we're at least a couple months away from live. Obviously, we're furiously working on the last pieces of 5th Age PvP, which is the main focus for the team right now. But we've got a few other surprises that are more social or more narrative in nature. So stay tuned. We'll talk about those as we get closer. Often, also, I like to use the space to clear up some miscommunications or misconceptions found on the internet because, well, I can. And it's nice. We've seen a few rumblings around the community about population downturn, and thus the game is dying. While we don't share exact metrics, I will say 2 things. 1, our population trends are pretty predictable. Barring the craziness of 2022, or 2020, not 2022, and some of 2021, that was unpredictable. But generally, during this particular time period, mid-January through March, we expect a slightly lower population than the last quarter of last year. So if the population seems a little lower now than before, it is, and it happens every year. It's expected, and it's also expected to go back up around spring break and then around summer. 2, we're actually tracking higher than our current population goals right now, and we're happy with how we're doing, both compared to our own goals and previous performance and also industry trends. Super brief Wizard update, but I assure you we have many exciting features and updates to come. It's just the time for working right now and not talking yet. Soon it will be time for talking. Overall at KI, we're very thankful for a slightly less newsworthy and dramatic January and February than last year with the acquisition. And speaking of that partnership with Gamigo, stay tuned for some Wizard news coming up soon. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I'll leave it on a cliffhanger. We're very excited that we were able to announce last KI Live that we'll restart development in 2022. Before the community starts asking, hey, it's 2022, where's our update? Let me remind everybody that it takes time to hire, to ramp up, to plan an update, let alone do the development. So I appreciate your patience. We got a lot of pirate questions, and I'm going to answer quite a few of them in this state of the game. So we'll have a 2-for-1 here. So Luke asks, with regular updates for pirate going back into development, how has it felt to start with a mostly new team? Are past ideas for the game that weren't being realized being brought up again, or is everything starting from scratch, or a little from both? I'd say a little from column A, a little from column B. We have some awesome ideas that didn't make the cut before that we're really excited to look into, but also we've learned a lot of lessons and had some successes from Wizard in the last few years that we would love to apply to Pirate that we haven't had a chance. Not necessarily the features themselves, but maybe. But our methodology and how we put together features and updates is definitely something that we want to take into account when we start planning. However, please understand that we are still very much in the hiring process. We've been excited to see some of our community applying, and so far, at least one more of y'all will be joining us next month. It's not really a secret. He announced it already. Hi, Cam. We can't wait to inundate you both with Wizard and Pirate spreadsheets next month. We get to welcome another community member turned KI employee into the design team as of next month as well. She's not here, so I'm not going to announce it, but very excited for that. However, these are the first new folks that will be working on that will possibly touch Pirate. Hiring takes time, and we're still definitely at it, and we'll be at it for the next few months assembling the team. Once we have new folks, our next step is both planning and archaeology. While we've done some light updates over the last 5 years, we've got a lot of work ahead of us. How do skyways work? How are ships put together? No one at KI currently has ever made either one yet. How would the player power curve look if we expanded the game 10 20, 50 levels. How does that balancing spreadsheet even work again anyway, Ratbeard? We've got a lot of work to do to understand the guts of pirate like we do wizard, but we're excited to take it on. So we're trying to balance between doing the right thing and the right now thing and look for a smaller update that we can get out more quickly with the existing wizard team without disrupting their 2022 future plans. So stay tuned. Ultimate Speedster asked, do you ever plan on added side activities to do in Pirate 101, such as fishing and monstrology and wizard? In some cases, yes. When it makes sense, we could bring side activities from wizard to pirate. However, there's a few reasons why we might not do it. In some cases, the code base and the UI are quite different. It's not just, hey, copy here, paste there. In some cases, it would be better to just take the inspiration of the feature from Wizard and completely redo the code because it might be even quicker. Please don't consider this announcements as we're doing fishing or we're doing crafting. We are talking very high level right now, and we're just excited to start digging in. Is any news on a Pirate 101 roundtable? Please tell me Senior Spicy is doing it. We're really excited to do some of these roundtables and talk to y'all about ideas. This announcement should be coming soonish, Matthew? Soonish?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
We're working with the community and all pirate community leaders. So if you're a pirate and you have a live stream or a fan site or just interested in what's going on, don't be afraid to reach out to us. Say hi in all the areas like the Pirate 101 forums, and we'll say hi back and see what's going on.
Yeah, in 470, we started the process of sort of re-examining the Spellements and its role in the game and stuff like that. And if you, for those who attended the PvE roundtable, you kind of got a more detailed idea of where we were going to take it. So in 470, we started some smaller things initially, like integrating Spellements into the Scroll of Fortune and also into the existing pet talent that gets Spellements called Elemental Retriever. And so this milestone, we're going to expand on that and kind of feed into a longer term plan for Spellements, which we are planning to detail a little bit more in an upcoming dev diary. So stay tuned.
How will you approach stats in the future now that players can reach 150 plus damage? I'm assuming that's percent plus damage and almost immune resistances.
We'll take it from here.
Yes, please take it from here.
Go ahead, Artie.
I mean,
Don't get it, Ray.
I can talk about it more. That the gear change is real important to players, and so we have to reevaluate the gear distribution throughout the game anyway, just as sort of a something that happens just while you're questing. And then stats specifically, we also know that certain stats are far more desirable than other stats, and so that's one thing we have to look at is sort of how can we make some of these less desirable stats be more desirable? Because what the question seems to be talking about is they're hitting a ceiling, and so they're not feeling as if there's any space for progression for them to progress anymore. They're fully immune, they're capped out at damage, which isn't technically true, but I can understand the sentiment. The feeling is that you are. And we also have been discussing possibly introducing new stats in the future. And then now Ben can correct me where I got anything wrong.
No, it was fine. Artie and I talked about this, before the show started, so we could sort of sort things out here. You hit all the main points. I mean, oftentimes when we look at player questions, if we just answer the question, we're missing something. And this question really was saying a lot without actually saying it. Really, what you're saying is that you're looking for a gear chase that's more interesting than gear currently is. So you like to chase the stats. This person is sort of inadvertently pointing out that the only thing they're interested in chasing really is damage and to some degree resist, and so that's kind of a problem. So we're looking at things like making all the stats more interesting to chase. And already kind of mentioned it there. I'll tease a little bit more. It came up. Someone asked me recently. We're level 150 now. What's next? And so this seems like the right time to be thinking about things like introducing some new things to the game. So that's the kinds of conversations that Artie and I are having, and will certainly be having with all these new designers who are coming on. So
Toxic Hydra says tournaments are currently in a weird place due to the PvP changes, and not being turn-based is a bit odd. Are there plans to change this in the future, or is your goal to reserve the old PvP for players who prefer that style? Ben? Ratbeard? I think this is a Ratbeard question.
it is, as you can tell, because I have my name at the top of that answer written there. I've been talking about this for a while. Most of the changes that we've been making for the launch of Fifth Age revolve around 1v1 ranked, but a lot of the underlying systems that we are creating now will be able to apply to other play modes, and especially the league format. The biggest feature of leagues that we're looking forward to is the ability to set custom rule sets on leagues, and that could include whether or not we use the current turn mode or the old style. It encapsulates way more than that, but we could have a league that uses the old turn by turn system, or the new turn system. And so we would just have two different leagues for that. We could have a first age PvP league, for example, that has not just that, but for example, cards that were only in existence in first age. So there's all kinds of things we can do with leagues. The other thing that's important with leagues is that your ELO, which is your rating, is specific to that league. So for example, if you want to play in 2v2, you wouldn't be able to use that to boost your rating in 1v1 ranked. So that's kind of another important piece for us, is to keep those separate, and to keep those ELOs separate. So we will try to support. We're going to look and see first of all, what we can accomplish with the league system. We have very ambitious goals for our engineers to deliver for us. So first of all, what can we do? And then second of all is, what's going to be popular with the players? And we'll be looking to you guys to tell us what kind of leagues you want to see. So obviously 1v1 ranked max is kind of the premier league, and then we'll have other level bands and stuff. And then at that point, we'll have to see what kind of weird leagues you guys have in mind, and we'll set them up that way.